I have a slate only because I wanted to make this noise. Yeah. Perfect. Hey guys, it's Erin, and today, as you may be able to tell from the title, I'm going to do an update video for you guys to my bipolar video. It's an update that I've been wanting to make for a really long time because I made that bipolar video 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, I think it was. And there's so much that has happened, not only with like bipolar, but with my treatment of it and also being pregnant, as you guys know. So much has changed. My journey has just kept going. It didn't just stop after I made that video. So that's something that, in terms of like wanting to be open with you guys, I want to keep doing. And so I want to share with you guys where I'm at now compared to where I was back then. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll probably cry again because I'm pregnant, but also just because you know me and I just tend to sob at everything. So I got Kleenexes this time. I got the Kleenexes, whereas last time I just sat there in my own snot and it was really disgusting. I should start off this video by saying just thank you to everybody since I made that video for being so supportive and just really not judging me at all and just coming out to with your own stories and reaching out and saying that I was able to help you. That just meant the world to me because it meant that the reason I made that video was happening. Like, you guys being helped just was so important to me. So thank you so much for watching that video and supporting it and having supported me ever since that day. It's been so heartwarming and I'm so grateful for that. After I made that video, I was in a really good place when I decided to make that video because that's where I wanted to be, in a place where I felt comfortable making that video, like I said. And so I was in a good place, but I definitely wasn't in as good of a place as I am now after a lot of hard work. Like, there was still times where I was having a lot of episodes. I was still figuring out medication, trying to get all of that, like, sorted out. Like, there was still a lot happening with that. But after I did make that video, it was definitely a step in terms of healing, I think, that I needed to do. It was a very important step in my process, and that it didn't fix everything. I wasn't 100% better after I made that video, but it took off so much weight from the stigma that I was able to focus on getting even more help and willing to focus on what I needed to do to get to a point where I was really happy with my bipolar and just with my life in general. After I found out I was pregnant, I went to my counselor and I told her straight up, I was like, there are things that I have not been wanting to talk about. There's stuff that I've been not wanting to even think about because it's stuff from my past that I like regret, or issues that happen that still affect me, like it's the icky stuff. Like, we all have that. We all have that stuff that we live with that affects us that we don't want to have to think about because it's icky and it hurts. And she was excited because she's like, this is the stuff that I've been waiting for you to bring up so that we can work through it and talk about it. And the reason that I wanted to tackle that junk is because I knew it had influences on my triggers with bipolar. And I thought about, if I focused on it, worked through it, and understood it, it would make my triggers less intense because I would understand them. I would get where those triggers were coming from or what was happening with them. I don't want to get too deep into this because there's stuff that involves other people who I don't want to mention by name or deal with or talk about or anything. But there was a lot of bullying that happened when I was growing up, from me being like having my dress pulled up in front of all of the entire grade, to being made best friends with people just so that they could pull me into a counseling session with the school counselor and tell me how horrible of a person I was. To stuff at home, family stuff. Like, I haven't really talked about my family life growing up, but there there were happy times, and then there were also times that were not so happy. And once we started digging into all of that stuff, I began to realize, I don't know if I began to realize, but I think my perspective, I think my perspective really began to change, in that I was able to look at bipolar different too. Whereas before, it's always, ever since I had it, it's always been this force, this thing I have to fight against, something I'm battling with every single day that's horrible and mean and just unfair. There was a time where I needed to feel bipolar was those things. So I started thinking of bipolar differently. Like, I started thinking of bipolar as just is. Like, it's just there. I stopped thinking of it as something that was evil and was attacking me. And I decided that I was going to treat it. I was going to treat it like I treat everything else. And that my mindset really is that we should treat everything with love. And so I was like, I'm going to treat my bipolar with love. Once I was able to think about bipolar like that, it was so much easier by looking at it and being okay with it. It's made it so much easier, like, to deal with episodes when they're happening, because there's no judgment. You can't, when you're being kind or you're loving, you're not judging. And if by expanding that to bipolar, by loving bipolar and showing it that it's okay, I can live with it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I can work through. It makes episodes less daunting. It makes my frustrations and not episodes. I'm at the point now where I can proudly, happily say that I haven't had to change my medicine in about a year. I have only had one episode, I think, in the last year. I gotta say that. Oh, that feels so good. It makes me so happy to be able to say that and think that. And I never ever thought I'd be able to get to a point where I was this okay with having bipolar, where I was this okay with having a mental illness. The reason I'm kind of telling you guys this is I really want to encourage you to keep on trying. Like, keep on seeking help, whether that's through therapy, medication, support, all three. Keep on getting help, because it gets better. It's so much hard work. You have to put in a lot of effort, and it's not fair that you've got to put in the effort, but you do. And there's just it's the happiest I've ever been, not just with my life, but with myself. It's so important to me to keep talking about this and keep being open, because I want my daughter to live in a world where, it's going to sound cheesy, but I want her to grow up in a place and in a world where mental illness is talked about as easily as any other sort of illness. It's talked about like a broken leg. Like, you get help for a broken leg. It's talked about, medication is talked about as easily as somebody taking insulin for diabetes. I want her to grow up in a world where people don't say crazy anymore, where they don't look at somebody's behavior and dismiss it as them being a crazy person. I want her to grow up in a world where people think, how can I help that person? Or how can I help that person get help? And we're gonna get there. I think we keep talking about it and we keep being open and sharing and just spread the word that mental illness isn't evil, mental illness isn't bad. There's just stuff that needs to be talked about. It's misunderstood, and we can change that by talking about it. And that's what we need to do. And so that's what I'm going to keep doing. Yeah. That is it for my bipolar update video. I hope that it made sense. I guess that's my biggest hope, because I don't really know. I was kind of a mess throughout the entire thing, but hopefully there's some good stuff in there that made sense and was coherent, but whatever. Y'all are used to me not being very coherent, so it's fine. I just want to again thank you guys so much for constantly supporting me with my wanting to raise awareness for mental health. I think I've never been more inspired since I've made that video than by you guys, because it's so neat. It's just so neat to see all of you come out and say that you struggle with things similar, you have your own battles, and that you're going through them, and that you're being open with them, and that you're seeking help is something that's so inspiring to me. And so I'm so grateful that you guys are willing to share that with me, and it makes me really humbled. I'm so humbled by you guys every single day. And I'm just so happy that I've been able to get such amazing support from my friends and my family and my therapist and my psychiatrist, and definitely from David, just because without them I never would have been able to get through the times that are harder, because there's moments that are rougher. Like, I don't want this to sound like every single day is perfect and magic and rainbows. Like, there's days where I still get frustrated. There are days where I cry and I get upset, but that's life, and that's what I have to feel. Those things, I have to feel those, and those moments are made easier by friendships and love and family and support from everywhere. And I'm just so happy that I've gotten to this point, and I feel so blessed to be here and making a bipolar update video for you guys. That's just so cool. The words, what are words? I don't know what words are. I hope you're having a fantastic anime-filled day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!